Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, Jan Michael here, and happy Halloween! I've decided to embrace the spirit of the holiday by bringing you a truly spooky video, all about the ignorance of the Oscars. Something truly horrific. Now, it's no secret that the Academy hates horror films. I mean, they really hate horror films. I mean, good God, Academy, what the hell's wrong with you? This ignorance goes all the way back to Alfred Hitchcock's heydays, where everyone considered his films to be lesser forms of art, ultimately rewarding the master of suspense with 0 Oscar wins. Now, time has not changed that really, and a lot of great horror films still get snubbed to this very day. So for today's video, I thought I'd talk about 4 great horror films that the Oscars completely snubbed. And I know there's a shit ton more than 4, but I'm keeping this one short and sweet. So, let's get started. Hereditary is one of those horror films that creeps under your skin and leaves you feeling uncomfortable. The story of a family dealing with grief while also being the target of a cult is filled with many very real moments that makes the experience all that more dreadful. Now, this isn't your typical jump scare jaunt, and thank goodness for that. While jump scares can be fun, I personally don't really consider these types of movies to be real horror, as the jumps are more of a bodily reaction than true fear. Hereditary makes you feel fear, which is not fun, hence the word fear. Regardless of whether you like the movie or not, the one thing everyone was unanimous on was Toni Collette as a mother who keeps falling deeper into insanity. She is absolutely fantastic, and the scene of her at the table with her family is that standout moment.
Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Do you understand? All I do is worry and slave and defend you, and all I get back is that fucking face on your face! So full of disdain and resentment and always so annoyed.
The look that she gives at the end to her son is especially haunting. Ugh, goosebumps. She truly gave an Oscar-worthy performance, so much in fact that a lot of people considered her to be the frontrunner for a majority of the year. Yet, when the Academy made their announcement, not only was Hereditary nowhere to be seen, but Toni Collette, the one thing everyone was unanimous upon, was snubbed, ultimately coining the phrase Toni Colletted, which is when someone gives a great performance in a horror film, only to be snubbed by the Academy. Speaking of...
Just because we're in our rooms doesn't mean we're sleeping.
Fine, I don't know. Go back to your rooms.
Guys, we have to be out here at 10 a.m. tomorrow sharp, so... Hello?
Oh my god!
Us is Jordan Peele's follow-up to the great Get Out. It follows a family that is terrorized by doppelgangers that look exactly like them, only more terrifying. After coming off of his Oscar win for Get Out, many believed that lightning would strike twice for Jordan. Many had predicted Us earning a couple of nominations, and even possibly taking home one in particular. Now, I personally wasn't as big a fan of Us as with Get Out, especially the ending. An ending so obvious that you would have to be an idiot for not see it coming. I mean, seriously, that twist was so fucking obvious. I mean, have people lost their minds? Calling it one of the great... Positives. Just like with Hereditary, the one thing people could agree with was the lead performance. Lupita Nyong'o gave a truly brilliant performance as Red.
Once upon a time, there was a girl.
Now, I have heard people say that the performance can come off as too odd or maybe even look a little too funny due to her delivery. So they say it isn't really good. To which I say you're wrong, and shut up. Even if you do feel the performance is not scary, you can't forget that she's playing dual roles here. She's not just Red, but Adelaide as well, and both performances are completely different from each other. which just goes to show how talented she is, as that's really not an easy thing to do. This dual role is very deserving of an Oscar nomination, yet the Academy didn't agree, and as a result, Lupita got Toni Colletted. This was especially concerning because this was the second year in a row that a great horror movie performance was completely snubbed. Well, don't worry, ladies. I'm sure Elizabeth Moss will be joining you soon enough. Anyway, moving on to something that I'm personally passionate about.
Please, do not go nuts on me, okay, Dana? You're all I've got now.
I'm okay.
Good, okay? Because I need you calm. Okay, no matter what happens, you gotta stay calm.
Cabin in the Woods. Okay, so there's definitely better picks out there. But as someone who not only loves Cabin in the Woods, but considers it to be one of his favorite movies of all time, you best believe I'm gonna be giving it some love here. At the time of its release, its story was considered taboo to talk about. You just had to go see it for yourself. And honestly, I still don't want to spoil it, as there are many people I come across that just haven't seen it yet. That being said, I understand that a majority of the film is just a fun romp that doesn't necessarily have an element that you could argue is Oscar worthy. Yet I would completely argue that its writing is definitely worthy of being nominated, a fact that can be proven in just the first scene of the film alone.
Guys, if we fail, then...
Please, we haven't had a glitch since '98.
We know what we're doing, Lynn, or we have it written down somewhere.
You guys better not be messing around in there.
Ooh, does this mean you're not in the betting pool this year? Big money?
I'm just saying it's a key scenario.
No, I hear what you're saying. In '98, it was the chem department's fault, right? Where do you work again? Wait, it's coming back to me now. It's gonna be a long weekend if everyone's that puckered up. So you wanna come over Monday night? I'm gonna pick up some power drills, liberate my cabinets. Are you even listening to me?
Did you catch that? If not, don't worry, because the film deliberately bores you just for a second to deliver its first great punch. Most horror films won't actually bore you during that first minute or so of a film, because it's supposed to be a very exciting film, something that gets your nerves shot, that gets you excited. So for the film to purposely do so and then slap you saying, hey, you're in for something amazing, truly surprised me sitting in theaters. And I was not disappointed by what came afterwards. If you guys haven't seen this movie yet, please do so, especially if you don't know the twist in it. It's fantastic. But it's time to move on to what I think is the most obvious case for why the Academy is filled with a bunch of idiots. The Shining.
Come play with us, Daddy. Forever. And ever. And ever.
Yes, The Shining. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. You know, that film that has influenced millions of people. It's constantly listed as one of the best horror films of all time, and got fans to believe the moon landing was a hoax due to the number 237, which is both worrying and somehow kind of awesome. That not only did the Academy not nominate this truly fascinating film, but it was actually completely hated. So much so that it received Razzie nominations for both Kubrick and Shelley Duvall. How mind-boggling is that for the film to get completely shunned at the Oscars? And if I'm being fair, it wasn't just the Academy. Critics also panned the movie when it released. A lot of people said it was too hokey, that Jack Nicholson was too over the top, that Shelley Duvall was just plain bad in it. Heck, even Stephen King hated the movie, saying it was nothing how he envisioned in his book, and then went out to make that horrible TV movie series about it.
But I found out that...
Stop it! Mind your business, you dead punk!
A+. But good lord, the power that this film has. This is a movie that is still debated about to this day. So much so that a fan film was created which tackled the many possible subject materials and what it could all mean, which was also favorably received. How out of touch must everyone have been to not see the true majesty of it? Honestly, the mindset's probably the scariest thing of all. And time has not sweetened that deal whatsoever. Horror films are still snubbed at the Academies on a yearly basis almost. And that's a shame, because horror films can be very thought-provoking. They can give us unique experiences that we otherwise wouldn't have encountered. They can give us brilliant performances. This can give us great writing. And I would love to see them nominated much more often than they are right now. Guys, whatever your type of horror film is, whether you want something that truly challenges you, or you want something that's gonna just scare the shit out of you, I hope you're enjoying it this Halloween. Stay safe out there. Let me know what horror films the Academy completely snubbed over in the comments below. And until next time, have a good one.